Hello and good morning. This is Andy McCann coming to you from Woodstock, Georgia, where I own CrossFit Garage. And today we're going to talk about why does Andy do so well in the open? Does it even matter? And what's the important parts to it? So just in real brief, every year we do the CrossFit Open, and I've been doing it for a long time. I am the oldest I have ever been. I'm 52 right now. I'll be 53 this year. And I do pretty good in the open. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Most of these guys are younger and they should be beating me. First of all, let me say this. I am not tooting my own horn. If you think I'm bragging, you don't even know me. I really like to be humble. I like to stay in the back. I don't like light shine on me. I have over, 2,400 workouts logged in Wodify. And before we even had Wodify, I probably have upwards of 4,000 workouts done. And I don't have a nameplate on the wall for myself. Why? Because I just think it's dumb for me, the owner of the gym, to try to toot anything about me. It's just dumb. Or egotistical. So I try to keep it super low key. I try to move well, and I try to see inside myself the score I need to get, or like I'd like to get, right? So I do that sort of stuff. But for me personally, I am super excited when you guys beat me at a workout. I think you should be. I think Louie, Joe, Josh are younger. They're stronger. They're fitter. They're sexier. They're more handsome. They're all those things, more conditioning, whatever. Yet, sometimes I'm beating them. Why? Especially in the open. So there's kind of a trick in the open. Not a trick, but they just program to my jam, which is less strength-oriented and more circus tricks. So that helps a lot. When we go into the next stage, if we get there, I usually fall off pretty hard because they're using like a 70-pound dumbbell versus a 50-pound dumbbell. So some of it, a big part of it is they program things that I'm just pretty good at. Like they had ring muscle ups. We barely, back in the old days of CrossFit, 2008, 9, 10, 11, you would think, everyone was doing ring muscle ups. No, there was like 3 of us that would do them. I just could do them, and they just have never gone away, which is pretty cool as a 52-year-old, and that's the real takeaway. I've been doing this since 2008. That's nearly 20 years. I know my body pretty good, and I know what I can and can't do. I know how to pace and push. And that's really what it comes down to. But I'm going to go through each piece of this and why it even matters to you. So should you beat me? I mean, yeah, you sure, especially in the open. Does it matter? No, not at all. It's literally show up, half-ass it or more, and let me edit your diet. Now, most of you will not let me edit your diet. Hey, that's fine. I don't push hard on that. If you don't want me to, then whatever, I don't. I want to meet you where you're at. And if you're at a place of, look, I just need to show up, hell yes. In the spectrum of stuff that you can do for health and fitness is how you eat, sleep, move, think, and connect. It's those 5 things. We typically roll in the move because we're a CrossFit gym. And in that, I would say that you want to go from I do nothing, I'm stagnant, to I move, I count steps, to I train something, which is where CrossFit comes into play, to I play sports. So the open is more of I play sports with the fitness side of this. There are other things like I do long distance runs, bike rides, adventure races. Other people do other things, and that's totally cool. The problem is you can't really play sport every day. That's called practice. So I think CJ does it well. He does a basketball game, I think it's on Thursdays or Fridays with his guys, and he says it's awesome. And I love that. A weekly basketball game would be perfect. Okay, so the thing I want to get across, yes, I am bragging on myself, but it's not for bragging. It's to make a point, which is all of you guys should be beating me if you just follow the simple process. When they say in the movie Central Intelligence, Kevin Hart says to Chris Rock, Chris Rock says to Kevin Hart, he's like, how did you get this big? And Dwayne The Rock Johnson says, it's easy. Anybody can do it. I worked out 7 hours a day, 7 days a week for the last 7 years. Yes, that's easy. But did you have to do it? So how about this? I take it back. It's not complicated. It becomes not easy. So the thing I want you to pull out of this is the open is fun and not the goal. The goal is fitness and something bigger. The example being for me, I want to be healthy and fit enough to coach my kids in soccer. What does that mean? I mean, you have to figure that out for yourself. So the open is, it's done. Today is Saturday. I don't know when I'm going to throw this podcast in. I might do it this coming Monday and just push my other podcast around, but It's the Saturday after. It's the 14th. Happy birthday, Grace. And that workout was painful in a different way. My legs don't burn. I use those patches my wife gives me, and that helped out a lot on minimizing some of the aches, the lactic acid and stuff. The patches are some sort of red light therapy kind of technology. I don't know much about it, but if you're interested in it, I'll pass you over to my wife. Anyway, she says use them. I said sure thing, and my hair's turning black again, so I'm in. But what it did get you was in your soul. It's like, I can't really move that much. When I picked up that 115-pound bar, I was like, I think my plan just went out the window, and you have to be okay with that. And I am very good with adjusting the plan. Another big part for me is to be able to drop the bar and back up and then go again. And I'm getting all those things. And what I'm doing different than most of you, like following the intended stimulus. Several of you guys are like, you scale everything on the workouts. So I don't. I look at the intended stimulus and I either go, can I do it RX? No. Can I do it intermediate? Yes. Or I can push up, or maybe I need to push down. And I'm okay with that. I don't care what my score is. I do think scores are fun, but I don't really care. So it's a weird thing. Like, I don't know. It's the total bro thing. I go out racing with Randy. We did the Orienteer race. And he's like, oh, I got you by a few seconds. I'm like, awesome. Was I trying to beat him? Sure. Do I care that he won? No, I'll rib him for it, but I want him to do well. So it's that weird, I don't know, it's the bro competition thing. Okay, I'm going to go through a bunch of these things. I think the thing that I would like for you to end on is, it is fun, it is worth it, you push yourself. Several people said, well, I did something I never thought I could do. And that's kind of the point, really, for these events and competitions. We have the True Challenge. Let me pull that up. Actually, if you go to, let's see if I can go to the whole real site, truechallenge.com. If you're at my gym, then we're hosting it, so just come here and work out with us. But if you're fine somewhere else and you're like, I need to find a gym that'll host it, you go to their website, you click on athletes, click on map host, and then, how do I slide into this? Hit control. So holding down control, you can see that there's a lot of gyms all over the place. There's one in Athens, so this is for the Georgia area. There's one in Athens. What is that, like Gadsden or something, or Anniston? Nope. Center, I don't know what that is, Center, Alabama. And of course, us in Woodstock. So yeah, come work out with us. Oh, look at that. There's one in, what is that? That's not Chattanooga. That's like, I guess I could just scroll in and see it. Cleveland? Yeah, Cleveland. Look at that. I didn't even know there was a CrossFit gym right there. We go there almost every year for Camp Ocoee. Go here on the right. Anyway, this is an intermediate and novice workout or event. I think they're eventually going to add just regular old RX people, which would be almost everybody in our gym, except for the two that compete higher level. And so that'd be kind of fun too. So sign up for this. I would hope that you'd either become a volunteer. Volunteers are going to get a cool CrossFit Garage cap, and athletes that sign up to compete will get a shirt from them. So the cap is a CrossFit Garage one, my treat, because I want to say thank you. And we gave out shirts last year, so I don't want to repeat that. And then anyway, so there's an event coming up. I would love for you guys to consider participating in it as an athlete or a volunteer. If you enjoyed the Open, I'm going to send this to everybody and remind them that we're doing it so that you can come and be part of the gang. Okay. So yeah, we do have Garage Fitness Online. If you're not anywhere near us and you want some help, we do have coaches like Josiah, Matt, and Jennifer that do this for a living as well and do some virtual coaching for you guys. So first I'm going to go through a little bit about the CrossFit Open. It'll be fast. The CrossFit Open is the first workout or first event to get you into the CrossFit Games. Everyone needs to do the Open. They push the best people into the quarterfinals. The best of them go to the semifinals. And then something like 40 people end up going to the CrossFit Games. They do, let's see what I wanted to show you in here. Ask the leaderboard. Where's the workouts? I should have been on the workouts there. The Open workouts. There you go. So I can tell you what the workouts were, because it's finished, so it's all over. So we had 26.1, so it's the year 2026, and then they do the first workout, so 26.1. It was a combination of wall balls, box jump overs, and then medicine ball step overs, and then back down this ladder of disgusting stuff. The worst part about it was just doing all the wall balls and your thighs kind of burning up. The second workout, 26.2, was dumbbell lunges, and then dumbbell snatches, then pull-ups. And then you repeat that, then do chest-to-bar pull-ups. Repeat that, and then do ring muscle-ups. The last workout we just did was burpees over the bar, cleans, more burpees, thrusters. Then you do that again, add more weight, repeat all that, add more weight, repeat all that. Most of us did not get anywhere close to finishing any of these workouts, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. Coffee time. Okay. Those are the workouts. How did we stack up on the leaderboard? So probably the thing I would really like to show you is that if I go to my own, let's see if I can find myself a little quicker. Oh, there's the workouts. Let's go to my competition dashboard. Let's see. Review scores. No, I don't want that. I want to buy a ticket. I don't want that either. I want Andy McCann. Come on, dog. You're killing me, Smalls. Let's see. My affiliate. That's it. No, it's my profile. View profile. Okay. So there was that's 3 and 4 is 12 plus 1 is 13. I know, Jamie Thomas. Isn't it crazy? Math at the speed of math. But what I can't do is read out loud. My nemesis. So this is giving me the open individual men RX. So I've got, this is just for the gym. So right now, Josh Stidham is in the lead, then Andy McCann, then Joe, then Nick, then Louie, Chris, Jeremy, Sam, Nick, Miranda, and then Skylar. Can I expand it? No, that's all of them. What I want to do is find myself. So there's Andy, and I'm going to go to my actual profile in the big shebang. Where do I fall? Because this stuff is pretty funny. So I am currently in 2026 workouts for men worldwide. I am, can I say this number? 32,000th place. That's pretty huge. For 50 to 54-year-old men, I am currently 704th. So it's interesting, one, that there's not that many men my age doing this event if it drops off that fast. So the fact that I can even do this is pretty freaking cool. When you go by Northeast, for all men, I am 8,000th place. For men in my age group, I'm 250th, basically. So it drops off even more. So interesting. Half of 300 or half of 700 to be 350. So almost a 40% of the people taking place or doing this workout for my age group men are here in North America East. That's just pretty crazy that if you did North America, actually it's all right there. In the United States, I am 360. So half the people, half the men doing this are from the U.S., which is crazy to think that it's such a U.S. thing, but it is. Anyway, so for the entire U.S., I am 11,000th. Okay, so when you pop into these, I actually want to see my rankings based on the second workout we did. It's insane. So let me pull that up for you. Just because I can do ring muscle ups. Yeah, here we go. So if you look at this, my scores are all over the map. Actually, the last one I kind of tied-ish with the guy. So the dude right ahead of me is a dude named Lucas Save. I don't know. He's from France. And then the guy right below me is Timothy Wetzel. He is from the USA. So our first workout, Lucas is 20,000th. I'm 40,000th. And Tim is 40,000. So Tim and I kind of tied off in there. And the next workout, Lucas got 112 reps, which means he did not do muscle ups. He's 42nd thousandth, whereas I did muscle ups, making me 22,000th, right? So just by doing one ring muscle up, I bumped my score up 20,000 points of men. So when you're like, damn, I can't do ring muscle ups, that's okay. Most people can't either. The guy below me, Timothy, he actually did ring muscle ups. He did 2 more than me. And then the last workout, we all got about 183 reps, which put our number pretty close together. So it's just fascinating to see that. Like, how do I fall into place? Now, the other cool thing is, how old is Lucas? Because this is men all around the world. Lucas is 27. Hot diggity damn. This 52-year-old man is ahead of a 27-year-old. Now, I know nothing about him. He may have just started CrossFit. Who knows? Let's see about Timothy. Timothy is 35. He actually has a profile picture, so I bet you he has done this for a while. I can jump into his profile, I think. How do I do that? Oh, yeah. So I just clicked on it because that's what you do. Yeah, he's been doing this. He's been doing the Open since 2020. So could he have been doing CrossFit longer than that? Sure, but I don't know. Anyway, I think 6 years of CrossFit is a good, I've been doing pretty good. So the other guy has been doing CrossFit, at least the Open, since 2022. That gives him 4 years. Yeah, so I would say that he's probably at a relatively decent fitness level. He knows what he's doing. Of course, he hasn't done anything to his profile, so maybe not. Maybe he's just doing this for fun. My point is, you can't judge the book by the cover. You walk into our gym, you pick out the person who's probably going to do the best in the workout just on looks. You probably get it close to right, but it may not be them because cardio and strength kind of lend themselves to different looks, and you just don't know, and it depends what the workout is. Okay, let me proceed, my friends. I already did the leaderboard thing for you. Let's see. All right, so in our own grouping for the 26.1, we got across the top. I'll just go through the top line. So Josh Stidham with 250 points, Matt Capron with 238 points, Louis Judge, couldn't get your name out there, buddy, with 227, Joe 223, Hank 217, Andy McCann, that's me, 214, Tom Jenkins 214. For the girl side, Grace King, 220. Sharon Smith, 217. Let's see. Tomoko, 207. Rebecca, 199. Meredith, 174. Aaron, 171. So pretty freaking awesome. Nice scores. For the 26.2, Tommy, 124, Andy, 121, Nick, 118, Matt, 118, Josh, 113, Tom Jenkins, 112, Joe, 112. On the ladies' side, so the ring muscle up ones, Grace, Sharon, Tomoko got 112 because the ring muscle ups would have been 113, Jennifer at 102, Kate, 87, Joanna, 132, Ebony, 129. Okay, those two did it on the intermediate side. And the last one we just did, there's probably more scores that'll pop up today at the 9 o'clock class. Nick Kozo, 185. Joe Smith, 185 with like a 10-second difference in their split times or their tiebreak times. Andy, that's me, 183. Louis, 163. Chris, 161. Jeremy, 160. Tom, 156. Jennifer, 182. Meredith, 123. So you see the numbers there, and how did we get to where we are? I would say this. I'm going to brag on all of them real quick. Across the top, all of these people show up. The hardest one probably in showing up is Louis because he's been sick and then he has some races. Yeah, so all of these guys across the top show up all the time. On 26.2, same thing. All these guys show up all the time. Yep, reading those numbers. So first thing is, and this rule number 1 for the gym is show up. If you show up, I promise you this is going to work. Show up, and then rule number 2 is don't do anything stupid today that'll prevent you from showing up tomorrow. So even if you half-ass it, your half-ass ability will grow and you'll get better. Okay, so do the scores matter? No, not at all. But it does attest to fitness and ability. So if you look at who's showing up, even like Jennifer, she just started showing up with us. She's been doing her own thing. She does personal training and nutrition coaching and all this as a business. So she goes to different gyms and works out. She's been pretty consistent with us and just diving into CrossFit. And she's crushing it. She has moved along quick because she's showing up. Meredith, same thing. She's showing up. I got a full-time job. I've got 2 kids. I just had a baby. Well, I don't know. Has it been a year? I'm sorry. I forget. Let's see. Yeah, I think February would be a year. Oh, man, Walker? I feel like it's Walker. Miles? Walker? I don't know. Brady had a son as well. Maybe his is Walker. Golly, I need to get those things down. Anyway, they show up. Nick Kozo's got a traveling job. He is, when he comes in, he works out. When he's out of town, he tries to find a place to. Joe, the most consistent in the world, has more than 2,000 workouts under his belt. Andy, yeah, same thing. Super consistent. I block it in my schedule, and then I move it around where it needs to move. So typically at 7:30 a.m. is my normal jam. A lot of times I end up at the 6 a.m. Sometimes I end up at the 4 or 5 p.m., not usually. Louis, same thing, super consistent. Chris, super consistent. Jeremy just came to us. He's been doing CrossFit for a very long time. Super consistent. Tom, super consistent. Jordan, Justin, Craig, Nick Miranda, Randy, Josh, Ross, Skylar, And Dennis, super consistent. And that is a big part of the key here. Showing up. Even on the other ones, David, Matt, super consistent. Sam, CJ, Denny, all these guys, super consistent in attendance, and it shows up in their workout. See, Joanna, Ebony, Kate, Grace, all these guys, girls, whatever, super consistent. Okay. So, on to the secrets. Andy, why do you do so well? Well, one, you saw in these workouts, it's a lighter movement with some weird skill-based things. Like a snatch is still pretty skilled, or just getting over the bar with a burpee, not skilled, but you just need to be able to do that. And I can do those things pretty well. So let's discount some of that. I am 52. Shouldn't I have slowed down? Now, I can tell you this, my strength numbers have dropped. I don't lift quite as heavy, but I'm also a believer that issues occur at the extreme. So if I'm going to push for a 1 rep max, I'm probably going to hurt myself. So doing 3s is probably better for me in terms of I don't want to do anything stupid. That's a big part for me. I want to show up. I do a lot of rehabby stuff. So I'll even change a workout sometimes and be like, today is I'm working on shoulders. So I'll just change the workout. Like instead of pull-ups, I'll do scat pulls. So scapulary pull-ups. Yeah, I know it's not the full thing and I don't click RX. I just click scale and I go on with my day. That's okay because sometimes I need to work that in there and I use it as a rehab day. CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements executed high intensity. It does not need to be super high, like 100% intensity. It's like 70%. Okay, so I do have these skills. I do practice the skills. I took the time to get those skills. You're like, well, Andy, I thought you just like could do that. Yeah. I'm predisposed to those movements. Yes, that is true. But I've practiced them and I keep them. I do muscle ups maybe 3 or 4 times a year to make sure I still have that. And when I do them, I actually am practicing doing them even better. So I'll watch some videos. I will go and say, okay, this part is where I need to work on. So I do that for myself. Double unders. I don't do a lot of them because my knee and my foot kind of hurt when I do them. But like when I did it, I did single unders the other day because I wanted to do some sort of jump rope getting ready for the open. But I know if I do double unders before the open, I may not be able to have them later because it just hurts too much. And I was doing super low, super efficient, kind of like old wrestling style. We did a lot of jump rope back in wrestling. And Coach Caroline says, wow, those are really good single unders. Yes, because I practice those. You don't get skill by wishing or by just showing up. Your deadlift will increase by just showing up because it's what we do. You'll gain some strength. But skills are different. You actually have to train those. We have the progressions I can give you for free. It's in Wodify. Follow the progressions up, go from a white belt to a black belt in whatever skill you're looking for. Or better than that, hire a coach for 30 minutes and get some homework. Okay. So the skills. The other one is the pacing. I know what my body can and can't do. I know that, I feel pretty good on these burpees. I'll just go faster. That's a trap. I also know that the positioning, like my heart's dropping that far down and then trying to go all the way back up, messes you up. There's a word for it. I forget what it is, but just moving your body from a horizontal to a vertical is going to have an effect that is different than the normal working out effect. So I know to modulate that. If you noticed in that last workout, well, most of you probably didn't notice. So I stood up. I knew Nick was going pretty fast on the burpees. I didn't know we were on the same count. So when we were done, I was like, oh crap, he and I are done together. He said he was going to go a little faster. I said it was going to go a little slower, but yet there we were at the same time. I picked my bar up and I was like, wait a minute. He and I are the only two doing the bar. Am I that far behind or am I actually that far ahead? So then people started picking up the bars. I'm like, damn it, I didn't want to be ahead because I knew it would get me in the end. And it did. I got to those last thrusters and was like, whoosh, this is pretty tough. So pacing is key. Most of you guys come out too hot and you don't breathe appropriately, which is when I coach, I say breathe because it's weirdly super important. Okay, next one is there is a movement experience. I've done, multiple thousands of burpees, cleans, and snatches. I know how to do it effectively, drop down a tiny bit to save the shoulders, or don't drop down because my shoulders aren't tired, right? So I have experience in the movement to know what to do with my own body. You will get that over time after you do enough of them. This is why I like competitions and why I think you should do the true challenges. You learn something different about your body when you put it under that much stress, right? Again, the true challenge is just for fun. Yes, there is a first place and second place and all that, but it's really just for fun and enjoyment to get around people that you could probably be best friends with, right? So do a thing, find a partner. I think it's teams of 3 or individual. Pain tolerance. That is an interesting one. I think all of us, if we get into CrossFit, we have an unusual high degree to suffer in the suck and be like, it's going to be over soon. I think it pushes that. Like there's a thing they're doing now. It's I think they call it raw dogging boredom. So people will sit there for an hour doing absolutely nothing to try to remove the dopamine hits their brain is requesting from social media. That's similar to what we're doing when we push ourselves in CrossFit. We are learning to live inside that suck, which I believe competition does even more, especially when you have a teammate. I'm just very good with that. I've been doing this for a very long time. I do it long races. I know, okay, this is where my body can and can't move. As an example, we have had a member in the past, Jonathan Cruzado. A little coffee break there. And he would take big breaks because he thought he needed it. One day he believed me. I said, look, just keep up with me. Don't pass me. Don't go fast. Just do rep for rep. And then at the end, when you realize, damn, I got a lot of energy, speed up. So he did. And he's like, that's interesting. I didn't really need the rest I thought I needed. So he learned that, and then he was able to use that in all his other workouts and proceeded to crush the crap out of me throughout his rest of the time here. So our ability to tolerate pain or live in the suck is pretty big. Okay, the next one is strategy. I've done these enough that I've got a strategy that really, really works for me. For example, I knew I was going to do the cleans one at a time. One, because I knew I'd be tired, and I need to build back better. I need to build back someplace to have a gain or there was a bit of a rest. Where was it? So that I don't burn out later on. Well, gravity will do the work of getting the bar down there. So why don't I just let gravity do its job? Just drop it. Yes, it does bounce around and I got to set up. I'm also okay because of movement experience, picking up the bar, even if my hands aren't in the right place, and go ahead and lifting again. So I've got that experience and strategy to know where I fit very well. When I did the thrusters, the second set of thrusters at 95 pounds, I realized, okay, I can feel it. I pushed my heart to a place I shouldn't have gone. Let me use the burpees in a slow-mo to try to equate that, bring it back down. And I was able to, but the 115 on the thrusters was still too damn heavy. The other one is I really try hard to avoid mistakes. So I don't do things that I know I can't do. I don't follow other people's plans. I won't take the time to drink water while I'm out there. It's only 16 minutes. You don't need water. Of course, I did have Fran throat, so maybe I did need water. I don't chalk my hands while I'm out there. I just grip harder, or I pre-chalk the bars and things like that. So I know how to avoid most of the mistakes. This mistake I would have made without Matt Janda was I, for whatever, got re-stupided during the workout. I lost my placement, and he's like, it's cleans. I'm like, great, because I would have forgotten. I tried to add weight in the wrong place. He's like, no, just do burpees. I'm like, all right, cool, thank you. Yes, it is true. My max strength is not as high as most of you. Yes, it is true. My max cardio is not as high as most of you. Yes, it's true. My max speed is not the same as most of you. And yes, it is true. I am not as young as most of you. Those don't matter. It's the general principle philosophy that a CrossFitter will move to the top based on their general physical preparedness. And I'm pretty prepared. Okay, what else? CrossFit's goal is to increase your work capacity across broad time and modal domains. So basically, whether it's a 3-minute workout or a 40-minute workout, whether it's a deadlift at max weight or a 5K, it doesn't care. It says, I want to increase all of that. We are greedy. We don't do back, by, chest, and try. That's not CrossFit. We don't do hypertrophy. That's not CrossFit. We don't mix the modalities. I'm not trying to do hypertrophy with CrossFit because they're counterproductive. And actually, you get worse of both. So don't do that. Unless you want to, then whatever, do it. But it's a program that eats itself. They're not the same. They're following different paths. It's like doing jujitsu and then going to a karate tournament. It's a different movement. It's not what you think it is. So I have experience. I have done the Open since, I don't know, actually I do know. It's right here in this tab. It's like 2011. Actually, I've done it before that because they didn't track back then. Here we go, 2011. So I think I did they have it in 2010? Maybe it was just regionals. I don't know. I've been doing this as long as they've said you can do this. You could just pay money and make it to regionals. So I've been doing, I have a lot of experience in this, and I know how to do the open and how to do my own body. I've done thousands of workouts. I know the movements. It's just really tough for me to F it up, because it's like the story I've told before. I was talking to a coach off on the side. Somebody did a snatch. We both saw it with our peripheral vision, and they did something stupid, and we both looked. And we're like, yeah, let's go over there and talk to him. We just know. You do this many reps, you just know. I know the movements, double unders, pull-ups, muscle-ups, wall balls, Olympic lifts. I've done those things. I can transition well. I know where I excel and where I fail. I also know what the open's going to do. So the other day, we had a back squat thing, and I was like, that's going to burn your leg out. It was like a Tuesday. We did a bunch of back squats. And then Friday was going to be the open workout. I did the back squats light because I knew typically they burn out your legs. So I was preparing myself well for the movements that would come up. I understand the stimulus that CrossFit is going for. The workouts are going to be something like 8 to 12 minute workouts because it's the open. There's going to be a time cap that most of us are going to hit, which makes it a little bit longer, but the best people will be, somewhere in that realm. And I practice that, right? That's what CrossFit does. Most of the things we do, even if you calculated how much playing time do you actually get when you play football, in the end, for a full football game, it's probably like 15 minutes of actual movement because it's always burst then rest, and the rest is pretty big. I know my pain tolerances. I know my pacing. This is a really big part. I'm not faster than most of you. I just don't slow down when it hurts, but I also avoid getting hurt. So, or the hurt, not getting hurt. So it's years of training gets you comfortable with discomfort, and you guys are building into that. Again, all of these things you will have if you just persist. I'm not saying that I'm anything special. By all means, no. I don't excel in any of it. I just show up every day. Well, 5 days a week. I have strategy. I don't break on purpose. I break naturally. I'm dropping the bar. I'm taking a breath. I know my set schemes. Like, I don't do a set of 12 thrusters. I knew I was going to do 5, 4, 3. I knew I was going to do sets of 1. I have my rest built in as I transition. Again, don't walk away and take a big gulp. Don't walk away and chalk your hands. You're just looking for a reason to slow down. I manage my grip. So my hands are going to be gripping differently so I don't fatigue there. And I always avoid redlining early. That is a super big trap. Consistency. Train every day. Well, every day, 5 days a week. Volume matters, but not volume like I did a shit ton of stuff. Volume as in I did 4 or 5 days a week. 4 days a week is the sweetest spot. That's the best place to be, but I like 5 days because, well, I own the place and I like you guys, so I like to show up. There's movement economy. I know, like in the thrusters yesterday, I did not do a power clean and then drop into a squat to thrust. I went right into a squat clean and then thrusters. That is way more efficient. I have multiple ways to do burpees just in case, and you need that sort of stuff. I think the other big one is I know my strengths and weaknesses. I know that, okay, if it gets too heavy, I'm in trouble. I need to come up with another plan. I know I can do ring muscle ups on the day that it had ring muscle ups. I did not practice them. I did not train it. I did not warm it up. I figured we had 20 pull-ups and then 20 chest-to-bar pull-ups. If my shoulders aren't warm by then, there's something wrong, right? So I didn't want to do too much that then I couldn't do them because skills can be like that. I'm too tired to actually do those things, right? Okay, so the bigger part is, why does this actually matter? It really doesn't. The heart of the episode is, your number doesn't matter. What matters is you showing up for yourself for functional longevity. I am a 52-year-old man. I know the drop dead years start at 50. I am worried about all my long-term peers, friends, high school and college buddies because they don't live this way. I'm not too worried about you guys because you guys do good stuff. If you show up for yourself, I love it. Thanusha sent me a thing. Hey, what about VO2 max? I said, hey, as a data scientist, here is the science and the data. And she's like, okay, you know what? I've just learned all I need to do is be better than average. And if I just keep showing up and doing CrossFit, I will get there. That's it. CrossFit is the biggest hack to health and fitness I have ever found. If you found me something else that worked as good as this, I would change. I don't like CrossFit for CrossFit's sakes. I pay them $4,000 a year because it works. If they said it's going to be now $40,000 a year, I would just do CrossFit and not pay them because we can't afford it. Actually, we're doing okay well enough that the landlord said, hey, surprise, your common area maintenance bill for this year is $8,000. I said, what? Oh, damn. So yes, I eat those bills. You guys, your membership pays for those things. Last year it was $5,000, so it was almost doubled. But that's what membership goes to. Anyway, so functional longevity is where we're going. We want to move well at 60. We want to be independent at 70. And we want to have the strength, stamina, and stuff to do things at 80 that people are like, what the hell? How are you doing that? Well, I've been training my whole life. We want our health markers to go up or down, whatever, right? So our A1C, triglycerides, blood pressure, muscle mass, bone density. We want all that stuff. We're greedy. We're CrossFitters. Weirdly, CrossFit does that. I can't express this enough. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of no-brainers. We want our strength standards to go up. We can deadlift our body weight. We get off the floor easy. We can carry heavy things. I have a farm. I routinely carry 50-pound bags that I clean and then jerk up to my shoulders and I walk it out. We want to be able to do that. We do want our VO2 max, our cardio capacity to go up, not at the expense of everything else. Marathoners, they get cardio at the expense of, actually, let me pull that up. They get at the expense of strength. So this is a video at Andy McCann 42 on YouTube, or it's just a podcast, Fitness, Food, and Finance. Let me pull up Fitness, Food, and Finance. Let me pull up the ultimate runners and the ultimate lifters. All right, I couldn't find the pictures I wanted because the search engine's like, nah, I don't want to show you real pictures. I want to show you auto-generated. So I'm asking ChatGPT, hey, just draw me up the difference of them. And you'll get the point. An endurance racer has very little muscle mass, and they're very tiny and thin. A strongman is going to be thick. Yeah, here you go. And actually, the racer doesn't look that bad on this picture. I wonder where it pulls the pictures from. Those are real people, too. That looks, well, not real, but typically, the runner is going to be super like anorexic looking, and then the lifter is super the opposite of anorexic, eateristic. I don't know. And so that's not the body type that we're looking for. Let me pull up another picture. All right, well, I'm going to keep talking while it generates it. Hey, what does an elite CrossFit male look like? I don't think there's any secret to this. We're going to see these things. So, man. I think the other thing that has really helped me that I should have done in the past, I don't know, I really wasn't really conscious of it. Yeah, there you go. I mean, that looks like the guys that I kind of can be ahead in the open. These are their body types. They just look good. I don't really look that good. I don't usually take my shirt off very often. Not because I don't think I look fine. I don't know, it's the humility side of it. I just don't want people to be like, oh, look at that, right? So yes, my abs show. Yes, I've got pectorals and some biceps or whatever. CrossFit does that. Anybody can do it. I also eat carnivore, which weirdly, eating that much protein and fat drops off a lot of weight. You'd think it would make you fat, but it doesn't. Okay, so the community aspect is a pretty big superpower that I am leaning into greatly now. When we started the gym, I had too many kids and they were doing too many things, and I had a hard time being part of my own gym, so I get it. When you guys are like, I can't make it in. Yeah, I totally get it. There was a time when we had a general manager, and it saved me because I was in the thick of driving kids everywhere. The business would have been gone because I just did not have the time to manage it appropriately or inappropriately. I just couldn't do it. Now everybody's graduating and moving out. I got plenty of time. Plus, Wodify has great software. Anyway, I can dive more into the community aspect of what we do, and it just makes it even more fun and more I want to do this. I think the last thing that I would just lean into all of you guys is I've been showing up for years, and it matters. I've been a member of our own gym since 2008, so 18 years. It helps. Being longevity. Does it help a lot anymore? No, not really. I just know myself well. I think the first 6 years make a big change in who you are. Okay, so the real scoreboard, what really matters more than the open? The open's fun. It's a great way to express fitness, but it doesn't really matter. What matters for your longevity is grip strength. Now, it's not really your grip strength. The strength of your grip is indicative that you do things that are tough, right? So it's a lagging indicator of the things you are doing. Okay. VO2 max, again, a lagging indicator of the things that you're doing. Resting heart rate, lagging indicator of how well you're becoming. Body composition, the big one, right? Your BMI scale stuff. Your ability to get off the floor, your ability to sprint. Now, be careful on the sprint. The foot race sprint can hurt you, whereas biking and rowing, for whatever reason, because we just don't do that motion that much, we can't pull a thing. But I've seen the 10 100 meter sprints hurt more people than anything we've ever done. So I'm super careful on that. And your ability to carry heavy loads. Those things make you hard to kill and give you a super long functional lifespan. And that's what we care about. So the CrossFit Open is for fun. We have the True Challenge coming up. I hope some of you guys decide to jump into that. It pushes you in ways that you didn't know, and it teaches you something about yourself that you're like, wow, I'm surprised. It builds community. Why not do it? We had a lot of fun. This is probably the most fun I've ever had in the Open. Thank you, Coach Caroline, and all the captains and everyone that participated. That was awesome. And usually I just don't do well on these sort of things. I'm not like an awesome... I don't know. I'm not a fun guy like that. I'm a fun guy like, let's go out for a 50-mile bike ride. The real competition is against weakness, disease, aging, and the slow decline that we all just accept as normal. We don't have to accept that, okay? Basically, if you are showing up, working hard or hard-ish, and trying to improve your skills, you're already winning. This is awesome. You're on the right track. So... I guess a couple other funny ones. If you're like, oh, Andy beat me, why? Don't panic. If you just keep doing this, you'll surpass me for sure. I've already made a lot of those mistakes. I know when to rest. I don't actually, this is a big one. I meant to say this earlier. I don't chase the leaderboard. So I think I already said it, but the intended stimulus is what we go for. If you see in our programming, I'll pull it up, every time I copy and paste in there, well, it's not going to show it for today because, let's see, go to the workout and then pick a different day because that would not actually have the intended stimulus. How do I apply that? Full everything, apply. Okay, so we paste in the intended stimulus right here on the left. Let me slide that over a little bit, put it right in the middle of the screen. Boop, so now you can see it. Oh man, that didn't really work. Anyway, the intended stimulus is right here. It's, hey, in this workout, you should do 15 to 22 minutes, somewhere in there. The row should take you about 4.5 minutes. The back squats, this was the back squat workout, would be under 2 minutes in less than 2 sets. Many of us went too heavy. The barbell should feel comfortable or she can come off the rack. It's a mixture of monostructural effort while moving at a moderate heavy barbell. So, what does that mean? I can look at this and say, okay, if I'm going to finish in about, 17 minutes, can I do the weight they're talking about? And then I adjust as I need to. So there's a RX and there's an intermediate. Where's the RX? Up there. Yeah, so it was row, back squat, row, back squat, row, back squat. Intermediate, drop the weight down. And that's what I did. I look at the intended stimulus to give me a guide at what I'm doing. This right there is probably the number one thing I'm doing in the gym. Craig became a believer, and he's like, Andy, I shoot for the intended stimulus. And you can look at how he's done in the Open. He's improved his fitness a whole lot. It works, I promise you. Not just for the sake of improving your fitness, but hitting the tolerances that CrossFit is trying to get you to hit. Woo! What else was I saying? I'm comfortable in suffering. We talked about that. I don't waste reps. I try to never no rep. Never know. I always rep, whatever. I don't redline. I don't hate losing. I don't care. Beat me. Like at the very end of that last workout, Nick Kozo and I were working out side by side. He took a big break. I grabbed the bar, did 1. I grabbed the bar. I was going to do 2 and end. He picked up the bar after like a 30-second break and did 5. That's awesome. And he said, hey, thanks for the push. I too was looking and going, I beat him on the burpees. He's beating me on the bar. Could I use that to my advantage? And then I said, who the heck cares? Don't worry about that, Andy. Just do your thing. And then the thrusters got me, much like the rhythm. All right, guys, that's it. Show up, look for the intended stimulus, and push yourself outside of comfort by doing some competitions and such. You're going to find that you're going to love it. We have the True Challenge coming up on April 18th. Please consider being part of that. I'll probably text this out to everybody so that or maybe email it. I don't know. I think For those of you that actually were participating in the Intramural Open, it would be an awesome thing to try. For those of that didn't, maybe volunteer and see what's going on. You're going to see, oh, this stuff can be, in a weird way, fun. All right, guys, y'all take care.